Good evening, one and all. Here's Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey. That's my ham radio call sign. My name is Mac, Mike Alpha Charlie, and we're situated here in Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada. Approaching 7 p.m. on a Tuesday evening, it's our pleasure to share with you another episode of the Lake Ontario Radio Club Net, monitoring the VE3ZOE repeater on a frequency of 443.075. At 7 o'clock, somebody will announce themselves as the net controller. Sometimes it's a coin toss, what happens on Tuesday night. So if nobody else jumps at the chance, I'll pick it up myself. This net meets 5 times weekly, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday on this repeater. And on Thursdays, we skip over to a simplex frequency of 446.125. Throughout the week, we do support a number of other nets here locally. We share time with the Hamilton Radio Amateur Club on Monday evenings on 2 meters and 77 meters at 7 o'clock and at 8 p.m. on a 40 meter net. Wednesday evening, another net that I do a live stream is the Burlington Amateur Radio Club net. That's tomorrow night, and it'll be between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And then we'll talk about the A-Reg net that'll start at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So we'll just give it a quick standby and see if nobody else picks up the net. And that's kind of the way it sounds. So here we go. Attention all stations. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey. It's 7 p.m. in Hamilton, Ontario. That means it's time for another episode of the Lake Ontario Radio Club Net here on the VE3ZOE repeater, 443.075. If you're listening to me, you probably know how to get there. Anyways, we're also live streaming on YouTube. Look up my call sign, VA3IMW, in the search box. Scroll down to the little red sticker that says live, and you'll find us right here. You can listen to your transmission, check out your signal reports, and see what you sound like on the radio. Some people don't like that. Anyways, we should, first of all, take a standby to see if we have any time-sensitive mobile or priority traffic stations. You guys go first. Okay, no priority traffic, so that's our opportunity to kick it wide open. Anybody anywhere, as long as you have a valid amateur call sign, come on in and say hello. VA3IMW, stand by.
She's wide open. VA3CJZ.
Yeah, like the Dixie Chicks called it, wide open spaces. There you go. Hand mic tonight, right?
Yes, sir. I was busy making my coffee there before the net, so yeah, you're stuck with the hand mic with the EQ and all that fun stuff on.
No worries. Nice punchy audio. Yeah, nice flexible setup you got down there, Charles. Anyways, it's already Tuesday. Goodness gracious.
Yes, and yesterday was Monday. Boy, there was a few nets on yesterday, last night. Of course, I did the Monday night oopsie net, and hang on, sorry about that. And then you streamed Marty's net. So after I was done, instead of stopping the stream, I just let it go. And I also tuned into Marty's net until 8 p.m. And then I switched over to Rick's net on HF. And I streamed, and then after that, we went to 10 meters. And I kept streaming until 9:20 p.m. But I stayed on 10 meters till about 5 after 11, then I called it. So, yeah, a lot of hours spent in the chair, Mac.
We're going to have to get you a stand-up desk, Chuck. We got to keep you moving. Anyways, we're going to wave a hand to Johnny's Las Vegas. Thanks for your check-in on YouTube. Yeah, sounds like a busy boy. I trust you got some exercise today. Beautiful day. Not too hot, not too cold. This is the kind of temperate summer that we could use. It's good for the gardens, it's good for the grass, and it's good to keep you mobile and active.
Yes, yes. Not much activity for me today. I took it easy because I noticed when I was sitting there under the patio umbrella, um, I was starting to feel a bit lightheaded. So I think maybe the temperature at one point reached warmer than I thought. So yeah, I just took it easy. Watching the butterflies come through our garden and sniff out our flowers, and I kind of rigged up a little. We have a bird bath, and so I got one of those little solar water fountains. But it's tough to keep the water from shooting out of the bird bath, so it doesn't go empty. But it's a lot of fun. So I'm planning on taking my new four-wheeler out for a spin maybe tomorrow, or maybe after the net. I might go to the store. I don't know. The evening looks nice.
Oh, congratulations on the new wheels. I'm sure you're going to feel 100% more confident. And there's no shame in that. 100%. You're going to be more mobile, more active, and more stable. So, very good. So, a big shout out to Ray for connecting with you and dropping off the apparatus that's going to keep you moving.
Yes, absolutely, Mac. That's right. Last night was the you were streaming elsewhere. I did mention it first thing on the Monday night Oopsie Net. Big thank you to Ray VA3RUA for dropping off that item, and she's all polished up now, nice and clean. And I think I'm gonna have to get some racing stripes or some flames, flame stickers to go with that.
That's funny, Chuck, because just as you were starting to say that, I'm thinking, yeah, he needs pinstripes or some ghost flames or something like that. Really jazz it up. Yeah, you're part of the hip crowd now.
Yeah, yeah. And then maybe one day we can maybe hook up one of those scooter batteries to it. See how that goes. Anyway, so okay. Anyways, tomorrow is A-Reg Day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, Hump Day, whatever you want to call it. But tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on 146.430. Again, 146.430 on FM at 8 o'clock. I will be hosting the long-running amateur radio exchange group, 2 fun-filled hours. And so I also stream the net on YouTube. Just look up my call on YouTube. That's VA3CJZ, and you can find me there. So thanks, Mac. I'll send it back to you.
Excellent. See, your mobility hardware is already kicking in. You didn't need to be reminded. You're clear of mind, and yeah, look at the potential for additional exercises, keeping your brain smart, increasing your oxygen flow, reducing your blood pressure, helping you control your diabetes, and geez, you never know. Maybe next thing you're going to wake up with a full head of hair. Anyways, a quick wave to Albert, VA3BT, also checking in on YouTube from Barry. Trust all is well up there, and things are moving along quickly. You want to wrap this one up this month. Anyways, Chuck, yeah, I'm all grins for hearing the news, and I'm glad to see that you're embracing some new what can we call it? It's a new lease on independence.
hopefully. I'm still not, you know. I guess I got to go for the first run, and we'll let that sink in then. So it's this is all new, but I can't wait. Had to give it a little bit of a sponge bath there, but she's all nice and squeaky clean now. So again, thanks to Ray. I can't wait to start chasing girls. Back to you, Mac.
Oh, okay, we can tell the wife's not home tonight. Hi. All right. Thanks so much for your check-in, Chuck, and we'll definitely be with you tomorrow night. Don't forget, I'll be streaming the Burlington Amateur Radio Club between 7:30 and 8 o'clock on the RSB repeaters. So we'll see if we can get those guys hooked up with a new scope of their nets, just to spread the love. And we'll be sure to not be late for the A-Reg tomorrow night, starting at 8 o'clock. Always interesting to find out what's on tap for the trivia and what's on this day and all the rest of that good stuff. Anyways, for me, it's halfway through the week. I got 2 more days of work to go, and then Friday becomes the first day of, I guess that's 9 days vacation. 2 weekends, 5 days, and 4, 5, 9. That's 10 days, isn't it? Excellent. All right. So I'm going to really enjoy that. And I'm planning on getting lots done around the house. And of course, my wife says, I'll believe that when I see it. And I kind of think I know why. Anyways, let's take another quick standby. See if we can pick up a few more check-ins here. Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey, standing by for you. OMG, shortest net ever.
Recheck.
Oh, good. I'll put you down twice. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, put down VA3IMW. I was just thinking of something funny, and there we go. Yeah, about Matt. The other day in the chat here, or the other night, he mentioned at the very end of the net, right when you turned it off there, he says, one day you should tell me what your CB handle was. And I almost fell off my chair.
Too funny. As if he hasn't heard the hints over the weeks, months, maybe years, right?
Yeah. But there were other... I had multiple handles, actually. So, but we're not going to go on the air here and remind everyone. Those who know, you know.
Those who know. That's absolutely right. Yeah, quite a history, but that is a history, and I'm all for the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I do believe that character will go down in the history books of 11 meters. That's for sure. Yeah, a lot of fun. The only regret I have was the excess in alcohol consumption, but everything else was fun. Anyways, where is everyone? I'll send it back to you, Mac, and see who else is out there. Shout out to Albert and Johnny Las Vegas.
Well, I guess with the weather being as gorgeous as it is, I can't fault anybody who's being like outdoors at the barbecue, sunning on the beach, chasing skirts, whatever the case may be. But then again, you can bring your cell phone with you and check in on YouTube on your cell phone or your personal device. Bring your handy talkie out with you and look all cool with that kind of technology. But alas, you know what? If you're the only one in the log for an RF check-in tonight, at least it's quality, not quantity.
Oh, you're making me feel all warm and fuzzy there, Mac. I just had another thought. Look at me, eh? Do you remember me talking about having a spider on while I was doing the A-rig net last week?
Yes, the jumping spider.
Yeah. Well, he made his way back up from the floor where I shoot him, and I found him back again on my radio table. And then he got all nice and comfortable on the side of the screen where my Echo Show device is. I'm sure you know what that is. And he hung out there for about 12 hours, and then I came and sat down. I think it was this morning, and he started making his way over to the radio to where the ports are, and I'm like, nah, we're going to shoot you away from there. So I don't know where he is, but yeah, he sure likes it up here.
Are your spidey senses tingling?
You know what? But they are. I see him. So yeah. Hey, listen. They eat bugs, and I'm all for that. And they're not venomous to humans or anything like that, so they're harmless.
Now, is this Mr. Spider or Mrs. Spider?
Oh, I'm not a spider guy.
I don't even know which legs you'd have to look between. But as long as it's a single unit and they consume mass quantities, tell me where that's from.
Consume mass quantities of what?
Oh, don't you remember the cone heads?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now I know why I don't get check-ins. I'm not current, right? Anyways, let's make another call. It's 7:16 on the clock. We've got two individuals on YouTube and one RF check-in tonight, so we're amongst good company. We're going to stand by for any other check-ins for the Tuesday night edition of the Lake Ontario Radio Club Net.
Victor Echo 3 India Uniform Kilowatt. VA3RUA.
All right, I knew it, Chuck. We just had to make some noise and bring on some archaic references. I knew there'd be some people stumbling from their chin on chest moments from the afternoon. Speaking of which, good afternoon, Bill. How was nap time?
Oh, not bad. Actually, I just got done dinner not too long ago. Had some nice lamb chops tonight. That was a pleasant change. Very enjoyable. Anyway, I have a little poem about a spider, if you'd like to hear it.
Well, let's give it a try.
Okay. Spider on the wall. Have you no brains at all? Can't you see that wall's been plastered? Get off that wall, you stupid spider.
All right. It becomes something like a pizza stain. And then you leave it there to warn all of the other spiders. Trespassers will be flattened.
Exactly. Anyway, thanks for doing it. We're listening along.
Okay. Any development on your July 1st plans? Are you going to be demonstrating at McMaster University, or are you going to be hoofing it down the path?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting to hear back from Wade. Either way, we'll be going out, and I think it was Chris mentioned something about Sanctuary Park. I looked it up on the maps here, and it's probably about a 20-minute walk from here, but it's all on the trail, so it wouldn't be all that bad. So regardless, we will be getting out to the park. You just got to wait to hear back from Wade to whether it'll be a demo or Sanctuary Park with him and Chris.
All right. Watch out for tree roots, and if you do fall, make sure you find a nice soft place to put your face.
Now, it's one reason why I have to have a white cane, and learning to depend on that more these days.
All right. Excuse my bad humor, but yeah, you had a couple of nasty spills last year, and we're all pulling for you. All right. Thanks, Bill. Very, very much indeed. Certainly appreciate another RF check-in in the log. Anything else before we say hey to Ray?
Oh, no, and you've got to look at the humorous side when you take a fall. You know, like it's like have a nice trip. Have a nice trip. See you next fall. I get tongue-tied as well. Anyway, back to you, Mac, and we'll be listening along.
Absolutely. Yeah, by the way, I live on the mountain. Why don't you drop over sometime? And for those that live down by the bay, why don't you drop in? There we go. Let's pick up Ray, VA3RUA. Props to you, my friend. Chuck's all pumped about going out with his new wheels. So that's excellent community service there, my friend. Back to you.
Evening, Chuck, and Mac, and everybody listening on that. I've been without mobility before, and it really sucks when you're used to doing everything, going out, taking care of what you got to take care of, and then, this happened, and now you can't do that anymore. It's not good. It really tolls on you, and it really brings you down. So any which way I can help anybody going through something like that, I am all for.
Absolutely. And I know, sometimes people think if they're going to look for an apparatus like that, it's going to be costly, and the good news is there's usually equipment that's kicking around that somebody has no longer use for one reason or another, and if it can be passed along, and it's really advantageous. So many thanks for on behalf of Chuck, and I know he's already thanked you with his heartfelt gratitude, but I think it's cool to have a community of like-minded individuals that are looking out for each other. Just like I want to make sure that Bill doesn't land on his face again this year.
Oh, absolutely. And if he feels a little more comfortable using it around, maybe it comes out to an activation. You never know.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the fact of taking a walk to the store is no longer going to be a chore. It's going to be a joy. So feeling confident and all of that as you're moving around, it's real key. Anyways, how's our friend down in London? Haven't heard from Noel in a few days, nay weeks, but is he going to be up and around the July 1st time frame, or is he locked into work hours during the middle of the week?
Well, that particular lucky boy, work is a bad word, and so he's at the moment, I believe, not exactly doing work hours, but I do believe he is working on something. He was over on Sunday here with his kiddos, and we had some time up at the park, and he's doing all right. I believe he's supposed to be coming down this weekend, but that plan is pretty liquid and then probably going to change. So we're not entirely sure what his plan is for Canada Day. But seeing as it's a Wednesday, I'm not sure what he's got going on.
All right, QSL. Understood. Obviously, the opportunity is at our fingertips, wherever you are, to get out to some spot that lines up with the pathway of the Great Canadian Trail, and set up and get yourself spotted. The whole intent is that on July the 1st, we want to light up the POTA spotting page with Charlie Alpha 5082 as much as possible from coast to coast from various times throughout the day. So it's not a coordinated event as such, but we're just inspiring people to get out there with your park setup and throw up a vertical or throw a wire into a tree, make some contacts, make sure that the whole world has got an opportunity to hear from Canada on the Great Canadian Trail on Canada Day. Anyways, thanks for your check-in, Ray. Always good to hear you on the air. Doing a fine job, my friend.
Thank you very much. I do have a quick question for the net. It may not be that quick, but a question nonetheless. You fine gentlemen know much more about this hobby than I do, and I did something kind of stupid. I seem to have purchased myself a magnetic loop antenna, and I have absolutely no idea how to set this thing up. Has anybody used one of these things before, or know of a website or something that could kind of lead me towards the proper way of using this thing?
Okay, definitely mag loops are outside of my area of expertise. So I know that both Chuck and Bill are listening. So either one of you gentlemen ever use a mag loop before?
Not here. The only thing I might suggest is Wade. He's fairly knowledgeable with antennas. Bill, who EKJ that comes on here, is also very knowledgeable with antennas. So maybe either Wade or Bill can help him out.
And how about Chuckles? Any experience with a mag loop?
VA3CJZ, no, for me, unfortunately. Ray, your best friend is YouTube. Type in how to set up a magnetic loop antenna, and you'll get a whole bunch of videos come up. I just did. Yeah, there's stuff there. Find something, video that suits you. Like, is it for indoors? Is it for outdoors? Like, is it on a balcony? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the idea is, I might be coming into a rather expensive HF transceiver, and I don't really want to be taking in and out and possibly forget it outside one night and it just go completely missing. So I was going to use a mag loop I was going to use a mag loop inside of the house to do the HF work and see if I can, make that kind of function.
Right. Well, I have seen videos of guys using them from their balcony in an apartment and things like that. So, like I said, go on YouTube there and type the question, or use the microphone and say how to set up a mag loop antenna. And I just saw one for indoors there, so they're around. It'll give you a much better idea. I'm assuming you're going to need a tuner, so yeah, let me know how you make out.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, Chuck, and I will hopefully have that set up by the 1st.
Yeah, I don't think it's difficult. To be quite honest, you can, zip tie one together for testing purposes and that, but not too difficult. I know Pierre, VA3IMW, purchased one. It didn't do what I expected it to do, I guess, so he got rid of it, but that's the only guy I know that had a mag loop.
Yeah, it's too bad Kevin's not on the air tonight. VE3WKG, he's the master of antennas. I think you could give him a popsicle stick and a $50 in pennies, and he could come up with a strategy for you.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, he's very good at that. But yeah, your best bet there, Ray, is go on YouTube there and then at the end when you say how to set up a mag loop antenna, put in indoors, and then you'll get more videos that way.
And AI is also your friend. So just in the Google search engine, you can type your question in any old way you want to, and just select the AI answer. And then you will open up a dialogue, and this AI monster will have you at the screen for literally hours on end. And they'll, I don't know how this thing works, but you always have to do some fact checking if you're going to use AI as far as a guideline. I guess the major thing to look out for, a mag loop, your mag loop may have some high voltages. You want to make sure that it's set up carefully and safely. And if you're operating, make sure that nobody's in the region where the antenna wire is. The radiator could cause RF burns if it's touched. So it's just one of those things you kind of have to be mindful of. But you know what? This hobby is all about experimentation, trying things that sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work, sometimes they shouldn't, and they work unbelievably well. So you're going to be able to write your own history with this one.
Yeah, don't grab the mag loop while you're transmitting.
The mag loop will be in an area that only I dare to go in. Nobody's ventured into the attic here for about 3.5 years because I told my kids that there was a monster up there. Mostly because there was a giant squirrel. And I don't think it was a squirrel, I think it was a cat, but...
Or a raccoon. Yeah, there are monsters in the attic. I 100% agree. There's children in the attic from the last people that lived here.
Well, unfortunately, my little sister bought a house where that was actually the case. And that was a scary day when we moved in there.
I hope you don't mean the kids in the attic. I think you meant the raccoons.
Comment.
Go ahead with your comment.
VA3CJ said, Ray, I was just wondering, is this radio going to be QRP or full power? And is your magnetic loop for low power or high power?
The radio is, oh Lord, I wish I could remember things. I believe it is a 100-watt HF radio. It does 100-watt HF, and I believe that the antenna also is good for 100-watt ACAS.
All right. Well, I see you're on top of the ball there, Ray. So yes, there are magnetic loops that are used for QRP power, low power, and they have some for high power. And I was curious as to what your radio capabilities were as well. So looks like you got that covered. So thank you very much for that. I'll send it back to net control.
Comment?
And another comment. That would be bill number 1. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, talking about attics, most days I have toys in my attic. Roger.
Yes, I too was an Aerosmith fan. All right. Let's finish up with Ray, because it's just about time for somebody to say, check in. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey, and Ray, let's get you connected with some folks. Do some research on YouTube and Gemini, and see what you come up with there. But there are a number of people that are quite well versed in setting these things up, and I've already started down the rabbit hole, talking about the layout of the wiring and all the rest of that stuff. Sounds like an interesting project, actually kind of fun. No, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I imagine you could actually set up an HF loop that looks like it's one of those old-fashioned clothesline things. It used to be on a pole and have different cords that strung around the outside. Anyways, that's for another day. Anyways, best of luck with your experimentation, and let us know how things go.
All right, thank you very much. VA3RUA. I'm going to go check out some YouTube, and I'll be listening on. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
We are indeed. All right. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey. Standing by for any further check-ins. I know that guy. VA3 NFL. The mayor of Grassy. Come on in and say hello.
How you doing, man? I got a question for Chuck. I gotta ask, do you like that name, Chuckle?
Oh, my dear. Wait, hang on while I pick myself up off the floor. Yeah, man, I don't mind. I don't think I've ever been called anything I haven't found humorous there, Al. All right, well, you carry on and keep calling me Chuckles.
No, I don't like it.
All right, yeah, but like I said, I just, I don't even think about it anymore. So, Chucky, Chuckles, Chuck E. Cheese, you name it.
Running around with Chuckles.
Charlie, Chucky the doll there, or whatever. Chucky.
Well, I sure enjoy it. I think it's kind of like a little bit of disrespect. A whole lot of it. It wasn't a best. So, I'll leave it at that. I'm letting you.
We're all in good humor here. I'm sure that if I mentioned something to somebody here, and they didn't like it, they would tell me straight up. I can remember one day where somebody had to felt it was necessary to approach me and tell me I should stop bullying Mr. Bill, VE3IUK. And I reminded him that Mr. Bill is a big boy all on his own, and if he doesn't like something I said to him, he's well entitled to tell me so. So, anyways, no harm intended, no harm done, and yeah, Al, if I mention something to you that doesn't sound square, I'm all ears. Let me know what you feel. Appreciate that.
Just sounded like disrespecting me to Chuck. Chuckles. What the hell is that? But whatever. Just okay with it? I'm not, but whatever. VA's for NFL.
All right. Anyways, grass cutting, beer drinking, and all the rest of that stuff still going good out there in Grassy, my friend?
I was up back there cutting grass, so that never ends.
Well, it does around October or so, but then you move from grass cutting to hibernation and getting ready for moving snow in the wintertime. So if it ain't one thing, it's another. Anyway, Al, what else is going on?
Same old. Yeah. Retirement just sucks. Yeah. That just bugged up with it. I should never retire. That's all I do now.
But you have lots of time to find something else that you want to do instead of the stuff that you had to do. So now the world is your oyster. Pick the path that allows you to do things that you want to do, and as long as you break even, you don't necessarily have to make money or make a whole lot of it. You could become the next greenskeeper at the golf course, or wherever your interests lie. Just find the things that you enjoy, and that fill your days with fun, frivolity, and at the end of the day, you feel good about yourself. That's what it's all about.
I'm still looking for it. I ain't got a freaking clue. But I don't know. I should never have retired. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore, but it's what it is.
Yes, sir. Well, we're supposed to work until we feel that we're in a position that we can retire. And when you retire, you're supposed to do the things that you always wanted to do. So maybe it's just a sit and think session to figure out the things that bring you joy in your life. And other than eating dinner, maybe some other things that you really enjoy. Maybe you want to rebuild yourself a hot rod, or soup up your lawnmower so that you cut it faster than the neighbors. I don't know. Start to climb antenna towers and do installations. No, maybe that you can leave that to a younger age for doing stuff like that. Um, yeah, there's lots of things to do to fill your days with fun and excitement. Um, just just do me a favor, because I would feel really sad if you decided to become a Walmart greeter. That would be too funny.
Hell, I shit myself in the head at that point. I might have to get desperate. You never know. Make a few bucks to cover my beer expense, but I'm really not sure what the hell's going on. But I'm still working on it.
Well, I know some people that really, really appreciate the game of golf, and they actually found golf courses where they can volunteer as course marshals. That means that they go out and they work a 4-hour shift once a week, and they're the guy that goes around and speeds along slow golfers and makes sure that the idiots that are driving the golf carts into the ponds are all kicked out. But in return, they get a number of weekly rounds of golf. So that's a big thumbs up positive for anybody who's interested in golf and retired. You get time on your hands. And volunteering as a marshal, it's non-taxable. It's just a win-win for everybody. So that's one example. Let me see. Magnata Wineries, if you want to go down and be a wine taster and serve guests and stuff like that. Whatever interests that you've always had, but you never had the time to experiment with. This is the time.
Yeah, I like this golf thing. They come with free beer.
There's no free beer for anything. Although there's the other thing. That's a long drive, but if you're employed with a brewery, perhaps there is some beer testing and tasting involved with that. So we have the Craft Brewery Center down where Lakeport used to be. May not be a bad thing to mosey on down there and talk to some of the brew meisters down there and see if any assistance is required down there. You might find yourself a sweet little gig with some side benefits.
I may get there, but who's going to drive me home?
Oh, there's Al. He's asleep at the vat again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, looking around, Indeed, that thing, job postings, I don't know. I'm just kind of getting bored.
Well, the positive thing is you recognize you're getting bored and you're not settling in and turning into a big blob, because then they put you in a box and put you somewhere else, right? That's not a good thing. So, first and foremost, stay active. Second, make sure you're exploring your interests. And number 3, don't be late for dinner.
That'll never happen. I'm gonna have my dinner. I'll wake up late by 8:30. Gotta watch my Lone Ranger. I love my westerns. So, yeah, I'm always good on that one. Up by 5, 6. Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right, Al. Well, keep us updated on what presents itself to you as an opportunity. Like I say, this is the time that you're supposed to be enjoying yourself. So find something that inspires you and go hard at it. Anyways, anything else for that tonight?
Good to go, man. VA3IMW and VA3NFL. Bonsoir to la mama, Mr. Chucky. I'm good.
All right, there you go. Okay, finishing up with Al. Thanks so much, VA3NFL, and taking another standby for further check-ins for the net. VA3IMW, stand by.
VA3IUK recheck.
VE3IUK recheck. Let me see if your account has a couple of those left over. Yep, you're good to go.
Yeah, this might be old news, I'm not sure, but I noticed that yesterday was the last transmission from CHU in Ottawa.
You know, I've heard some stuff, and I didn't have time to look it up on the interweb, about the time signature transmissions. And is this what you're talking about?
Yes, Roger.
Okay, because I have 2 of these clocks that reportedly pick up on the low frequency system, and I'm thinking that's out of Colorado. I don't know how Grand Wave gets all the way up here from Colorado, so I'm hoping that these things just don't reach out and grab any random signal. So have you noticed a difference in performance of your what do they call them? The super clocks. You know what I mean?
Not as of yet, but it's funny you mention that because I have the same concern here. That's one reason why I brought it up.
All right, I forget which one, but one of them has a display which indicates whether it has a good connection to its source. And I think it's the one that's down here in the shack. So I'll take a look at that. And so is that's the communication that comes out on, what is it, 3.300 or something like that?
Yeah, correct. Now, I'm not sure if it's like WWV out of Fort Collins, Colorado, because I believe WWV is 5 megahertz, 10 megahertz, 15, 20, and 25 megahertz. At least it used to be. It may have changed now. I'd have to check. But it seems to me, I'm reading in the manual about the atomic clock I have here, that it picks up its time from Colorado, which would be WWV.
Yeah, so can you imagine, just visualize in your mind, if you shall, a signature that's rippling across the surface of the earth, carrying the signal from Colorado to the sunny South Ontario, and having these little radio receivers in our super clocks picking up that signature. That's awesome.
It is awesome, but then I wonder if it could be a combination of ground wave and internet as well.
I can't think that it's internet because I never had to do anything with these clocks when I set them up. I basically put I put batteries in the one that's down here. The one that's upstairs, it was stick it on a shelf and turn it on. It's USB rechargeable battery, but no internet connection whatsoever.
No, I haven't done none of this one either.
All right, well, I'll take a look at the display on that. Yeah, noticeable, and I guess I'm gonna say another indication of the exuberant reliance on the interwebs that are destined to go down, and when it crashes, it will burn. So just like weather radio, a thing of the past, we now have to rely on all of those broadcasts from our neighbors in the States because they're still using that 162 band region. Anyways, I'll have a look at that and we can discuss further.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, it's unfortunate that politicians don't seem to understand the word contingency, but be that as it may, it just makes hams all that more valuable if there's any kind of a situation like that. Okay, Matt, could be interesting in your findings. Thanks a lot.
Okay, very good. And let's see, 7:52 on the clock. Good dialogue tonight. Really appreciate everybody's input. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey standing by for any further check-ins.
VA3, every kind of junk.
Check in. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I've been getting educated here, just eavesdropping.
Okay. While you're eavesdropping, did you hear us talking about Magloop? Because Ray has, I guess he's purchased the hardware for it. Have you ever set up a Magloop? And he's intending on doing this in his attic, amongst all the dead bodies and stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize he was Italian. But I've never used one. I've dabbled in the theory over the years a number of times. They can work very, very well, but they require constant adjustment because they got an
extremely narrow bandwidths. And so you've got to, you know, you QSY 5 kilohertz is almost, and you've got to retune them. And then, of course, they're directional, well, bidirectional. You know, they basically out the front and out the back. But apparently they have an incredibly low noise pickup, which is certainly worth something. And the signal strength can be as good as a dipole 50, 60 feet in the air.
All right, so great expectations for performance where it's resonant. So how steep is the curve off of that? When you say 5 kilohertz, does that mean you go flat from 1.1 to 1 up to 3 to 1 if you shift 5 megahertz? So how significant would that be?
How about 100 to 1 back?
Oh, they're very narrow, are they?
Oh, yeah. Well, when you think about it, you know, you got a hoop that's, you know, if you're lucky, 4 to 6 feet in diameter. Some guys build them less than that. And they also build up a lot of voltage in them when you're transmitting. And so, you know, when you tune them, you've got a problem. They're normally tuned with a capacitor, but they normally have a vacuum capacitor that can handle the huge voltage built up. And or some guys will make up a slider assembly with a small little copper pipe inside a bigger copper pipe, something like that. So they're a specialized application. But if you're a ham who's in a high noise environment, they can be a godsend.
Okay, so if they require physical adjustment, then you actually have to access them when you shift frequencies, not just apply a tuner to them.
Oh, yeah. And none of this, well, it's too nice and flat for the rig, so who cares about the slur down the feed line and to the antenna? Yeah, that is not going to work very good at all. But on a much smaller and cheaper scale, that can give you an idea. I have a problem sometimes picking up WBEN out of Buffalo. When I go to sleep, I like to listen to Coast to Coast AM at midnight. And some nights it comes in great, but depending on propagation, it's not so good or it's terrible. But for $30, $40, you can get a variation of what we're discussing through Amazon, made by the Chinese, of course. And basically what it is, it's a hoop about maybe 10 inches or so wide in diameter. And you got a whole pile of turns wound on this hoop. And then you got a little plastic stand at the bottom. And you also have a knob on it, which has a 365 puff variable capacitor there. And it's basically like a loop antenna. And you can plug that into your radio, or if your radio doesn't have provision, it's just a little broadcast transistor radio, it may not take an antenna. But if you sort of drape the wire over the radio, sometimes that'll couple good enough. Anyhow, you can peak it and you can swivel it, you know, there on your bedside table. And it works incredibly well.
So you run a mag loop so you can listen to an AM radio station in Buffalo, New York.
Well, it's not elaborate enough to call it a mag loop. You know, a $30, $40 piece of Chinesium. I don't think that's big enough to be called a mag loop, and I certainly would not want to transmit with it. It would get kind of exciting.
Light up all your fillings, and you might have your eyes glowing in the dark. But hopefully, we haven't scared Ray away from his project, and I hope it goes well for him. He's going to do some research with Gemini and YouTube University, see if he can come up with a strategy that makes it a viable solution for him.
Oh, it probably is going to work very, very well for him. He understands what it can't do, but also what it can. And if what it can do is what he needs, there's nothing better. And he'll learn a lot too. And so, I've never been in a position where I really needed one over the years, although I understand some guys do take them out for POTA.
Oh, what? You set them out, set them up outside so you can dry your clothes on them?
Oh, no, they wouldn't be that big. But, they make a nice portable antenna, depending on, if you build them right.
Well, very good. Like I always say, it's all about the experimentation. Try things that are supposed to work and prove the the theory wrong, or maybe you'll find out something you really messed up works better than expected. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. What else is going on in Bill's world?
Not a heck of a lot. I don't have a breakfast buddy for tomorrow. Bill number one has an appointment, but it's not the end of the world because my buddy Joe will be back for breakfast Friday. And if I had two breakfasts from Cougars in a week, I would tend to get fatter than I am.
Yeah, and it's a little early to pack on the winter fat. So, a little bit of moderation now would probably be a good thing. And you can have yourself a nice tea and toast breakfast all by yourself. How's the delivery coming along for the last bit of kit for your POTA gear?
Actually, I've had it for a couple of days, Mac, but I've been distracted with other things I've had to do. But I did get at a bit of it yesterday. It's basically all the pieces are there and ready, and I'm at the stage where I just need to erect it in my backyard and start taking measurements because I've got to, extend it all the way up, make sure things are stable. It should. It's got good weight at the bottom with the TV tower tripod arrangement. And then, make sure that the 33 feet or so or more wire is naturally resonant. And I'm pretty sure it should be close enough. But it's always best to measure everything. And I'm a great believer in the theory, Mac. I'm lazy. I don't like, having to go out there and test every darn thing because I just don't have the patience. And 9 times out of 10, I find when something didn't work, it wasn't the theory that was at fault. It was me. And there are no shortcuts. Half an hour of reading can save you 2 weeks of fooling around and cursing and swearing. Or maybe I just get more and more cranky as I get older.
Codger. That's the word that comes to mind. Anyways, yes. So the lazier you get, the more planning you do, and that makes your execution that much easier. And then the final adjustment becomes minuscule. So it's all directionally correct in order to save the effort and save time. So more planning, better execution, minuscule adjustment. Anyways, 33 feet. If I'm doing my math correctly, you're targeting 20 meters for this apparatus?
Oh no, 40 through 10. Well, basically, it's a telescoping 33-foot fiberglass whip. And, 2 inches wide at the bottom and a fly rod weight at the top. And then there's, I guess, the stand for it is about 4 feet high. And the antenna, 33 feet of wire, is a natural quarter wave for 40 meters. But I built myself a box, and the 40 meters can be, well, I've got a 49 to 1 un in it to treat it as an end fed, and a nice high-powered ceramic switch to flip between them. So it's either fed as a 40-meter full-length vertical, or it's an end fed for 20, 15, and 10. And we'll see how. The theory all says there's no difference between having an end fed half-wave 40 through 10 or 20 through 10 rather, up in the air, horizontal, than feeding it as a vertical. So I'm hoping it will work. Theory all says, but nonetheless, you still gotta check it. So we shall see. And also if you make it resonant for 40 meters, depending on which end of the band or even the middle of the band, as you try to treat it as an end fed going up through 20, 15, and 10, as you go higher and higher, your best resonance keeps going higher and higher. And so it may take some playing around, but as an end fed, though, if I have to, I've got an auto tuner, and I don't mind doing that because it's what everybody seems to use with end fed half waves anyways. So I might as well join the crowd.
Yep, nothing hurts there. So yeah, so the antenna that I strung up when we were out together, that was an 80 meter, 80 through 10. That's a little bit of excessive for activation. So I usually run with a 65-foot 8-inch piece of wire on a 49 to 1 balun, and that becomes a half wave for 40 meters. But I cut it so that it's resonant around 140 ish, and then as you go up through the harmonics, it's more in the play area for 20, 15, and 10 meters. So you sacrifice a little bit with resonance down on 40 meters, but the tuner takes up the difference there. And when you're working 40 meters, you're pretty in close. So you're not losing that much decibels of receiving power, but becomes more prominent as you work in the further distance. So that's my strategy. It seems to work, but everybody has their own way of managing resonance and all the rest of that stuff. Anyways, there you go. You got something to do after your tea and toast breakfast tomorrow morning. Get out in the backyard and give her a try.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All the testing and everything and taking readings and recording them takes up a fair bit of time, but once you know what you're doing and where things got to be out in the field for POTA, it should be a very quick process. So we shall see. Yeah, I did a little research on your antenna that you had last Saturday, Mac, and remember I was asking about that little coil that's on there, and I found out what that's for. Well, that particular design, it does things to the 80-meter resonance, because without it, you would really be walking the resonance point on the higher bands way up and out of the bands. But that coil lets it work just fine on 80, but somehow I haven't figured out entirely. I didn't read that far, but that's what keeps it from putting things too high on the upper bands. And I remember when I looked at it, I thought that's a nice, elegant solution. Somebody knew what he was doing with that one. And so it's quite common with the commercial type antennas. Me, though, for two reasons. I take a lot of pride in building and doing it yourself. But also, most of my life, I've either been poor or married to someone who wouldn't let me spend any money to speak of on my ham radio hobby. So I kind of had to do it yourself, Mac.
Well, if it seems like an elegant solution to wind some wire around a bobbin, I guess you just found yourself a cheap and easy solution, right? Anyways, yes, I always wondered what would happen if you took that out, because I remember somebody who ordered a similar one and it didn't have that unit. So when they contacted the vendor, they said, "Oh, we'll send you a replacement, no problem." And the commercial brand is MFJ, Mighty Fine Junk.
Yeah, there was good things and bad things about those guys. And he used to hire an awful lot of totally unskilled labor. And, that's why, there are the odd horror stories floating around. But also, a lot of his workers did a very, very good job. And they used to work very hard at, taking care of problems. Had to give that to them. But I know from the reading I've done over the years, if you're a techno nerd, and you hear about some of these things that MFJ did, you kind of think that, the folks were not as educated as perhaps they could be, even the basics, but I guess Mr. MFJ, he had to worry about making a profit.
Yep, and the good old boys down south, they turned most of their manufacturing into outsourcing and started bringing everything in from the Asia region. So a lot of the problems that the old-timer hangers-on that we're dealing with was maybe substandard manufacturing practices for the offshore sources that they picked up on. So anyways, all of their product lines have been either discontinued or the rights have been moved to other manufacturers. So if it's not one thing, it's another. Anyways, Bill, 811. Anything else for the net before we make it last call?
Well, I can give you an example of something I was reading just the other day about MFJ quality. I bought from a friend out down London way, I guess, John, VA3IMW. I've known him off and on for years. Anyhow, he's always got neat nerd stuff he puts up on the KW Swap Shop. And he had an MFJ super duper antenna switch. And I had never heard about this product, but I got a little excited. He had it on for a very reasonable price. Picture an antenna switch, good for 3 kilowatt, good up to from 8 up to 6 meters. But you've got 2 knobs. On one side, down on, like it's a long rectangle. On one side, you have 6 SO239s. On the other side, you have another 6 and 2 knobs. And you can switch between 6 inputs, and you can also switch up to 6 outputs. And so you can basically match a whole passel of different transceivers to up to 6 different antennas. And that will be useful to me. But a few guys were complaining. The product had been around for about, at least 10 or 12 or more years. But there was, when it first came out, the SO239s were riveted in, 4 rivets. And surprise, surprise, guys found practically right out of the box, rivets were loose. And, the connectors would wiggle, and that was the ground return for the antenna feed lines, and it goes in, goes out. That was, you imagine, caused a lot of trouble. So they had to take a lot back, and they had to use good old nuts and bolts. But when I read that, I thought, geez, the guy, whoever decided to use rivets was not what I call a good engineer.
Yeah, it's kind of like the automotive world, right? The engineers come up with a wonderful design, and then it goes into a bunch of cost estimators, and they strip out all the things that cost extra money for no value, and then you end up with a Chevette.
Oh, I'm old enough to remember those. I remember one of my buddies, his mom bought them a Chevette. That was their answer to all the small German and Japanese cars coming into the country. And of course, they were horrible. The average Japanese, or particularly a Rabbit, would go like stink. High compression engines and such. The Chevette looked like somebody took a 283 and sliced it in half. They had 40 horsepower. And I was wondering if that'd be enough to get them up Centennial Parkway Hill.
Yeah, there was a brief period in time when I actually owned and drove one of those things, and wasn't really by choice. It was very economical for the initial purchase, but it certainly brought joy to my heart when I sold it.
Oh, yeah. If I was going to get a Chevy, it would be, 396 or 427. Muncie, 4-speed, maybe something special in the differential gear ratio. That's what I dreamed about back then.
And now you're dreaming about an opportunity to get a VW bus. How times have changed. All right, Bill. Very good, sir. And trust you're making some progress on getting your password stuff all straightened out for the Parks on the Air application, so you can get your logs uploaded and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to hearing from you and everybody else on Thursday night when we come back at you from 446.125 in Simplex. Anything else before we go?
Oh, don't ask me about all that stuff. Bill number 1 is helping me, so he took pity on my ignorance.
Oh, no. It's really not pity. It's an educational process.
Well, thank heavens.
All right, Bill. We're going to take a quick standby, make a last call here for any further check-ins. VA3IMW. We stretched it a little bit tonight, but if we're keeping anybody waiting, we're more than happy to hear. Okay, nothing heard. Anyways, thanks for everybody's participation tonight. That's what it's all about. The Lake Ontario Radio Club Net is here for the hand radio community. First of all, let me thank VE3IQL, that's Terry here, for the use of this fine machine, working really well. And other than that, this unit's going to take a pause for the cause for a little while. I will be back to the radio shortly. But thank you one and all for your check-ins tonight, either on YouTube or on RF. Certainly appreciate it. 7 threes, one and all. That's how we say goodbye.